Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Crosskeys match here on ZSR. Tonight we got Linlinlin versus ninjembro, and I've got Adirondack Rick and Tracy doing the talking. EK and I are doing the tracking, and yeah, I'm going to hand you off to them because they like to talk and I'm not very good at it.
All right, well, good afternoon and good evening, whatever it is to you. Welcome to the Crosskeys tournament. We have a very good 5-1 matchup. Tracy, would you like to introduce our runners?
We have ninjembro versus Linlinlin. Two long-time, really good players. Both went really deep into the main tournament. Lin being a finalist, even. So yeah, this should be a really good matchup. And somebody's going to get a loss and have to play in the qualifier at the end if they lose today.
Well, they will have to fight for their tournament safety coming up here
first,
next week before they get into that. So ninjembro on your left, his first week was the only loss that he has suffered to someone 325. Defeated Koi week number 2, Greg Corvid in week 3, Ikir in week number 4, Tito week 5, and then Zen Arcane last week. Linlinlin defeated 8-Bit in week number 1, Orange in week 2, defeated Magno in week number 3, lost to Humbug in week 4, defeated Homemade Beer week 5, and then just narrowly defeated Dr. Martio in week number 6 by 5 seconds.
Yeah, and of course, Crosskeys, weird things can happen in Crosskeys. So it'll be interesting to see what we get today in this matchup.
So we'll get to see some very interesting abilities from both of these runners. Pretty solid execution, pretty solid routing. And here's hoping that this doesn't turn out to be like the last time I commentated. We won't talk much more about that one. I think we're just almost ready to set the runners off, and there we are. We'll get them going here on our screen in just a very good moment. Where do you think the Sanctuary is going to be, Tracy?
I kind of like it when it's in the Dark World. Give us that immediate Dark World access as one item we can get right away. Then you just hope the Hyrule Castle small key shows up so you can do everything without killing Aga too.
And we are underway. Both runners are starting with the Link's House start, as we will be getting 20 rupees in that very first chest. Looks like both of these runners are going to be doing the fake flipper over to the potion shop.
Yeah, this is probably the most standard route I see in Crosskeys. Not everybody does it. Probably maybe half the runners do it, but it's a very standard route. It guarantees you that you're going to have money for Kakariko when you get there, specifically for the bottle vendor. It gives you this really quick entrance that, until you get food, is kind of annoying to get to. So, it's a good start.
Also get to see what the prize pack is on these balls of orbs, or whatever they're called. But we do see that they are the full magic. So I believe that is that the variety drop, or is that the
no the one, if you're
drop?
Talking about the one that's going to get you a bomb, you want the small magic to be the first thing in that one.
So yes, the magic prize pack is being shouted out by Ikir, one of our trackers for this match. So both of these runners trying to do the fake flipper. ninjembro struggling with it pretty fiercely, is just going to go walk around, as Linlinlin is going to go show us that Lumberjack is over here at the what we call the useless fairy, and it's a useless compass.
Just a compass. I don't think compasses are completely useless, but that's a little bit out of the way to try and want to go pick one up. And the usefulness of the compasses, even so, are kind of depends on the dungeon. I'll take an Ice Palace compass any day, but something like Skullwoods is doesn't really do much for me.
Or something like Thieves Town, where you have to walk in front of all the chests, pretty much.
That's a really good example of a compass that just does nothing.
All right, we've collected our 225 rupees. Gonna continue to try to see what our prize packs are, because we are hoping to get a bomb drop somewhere. Ain't gonna be on the arrow guards.
Yeah, it might be on the non-arrow guards. We did see a heart first, but we don't know what the second drop is. Won't know. If it's a fairy, then we'll get the 8-pack. If we kill enough of those guards. If another heart shows up, it's just hearts and a couple of green rupees on that pack.
I just missed what was on the island there.
Yeah,
but
you did do that way too quickly. I did not see it.
Just a compass.
Eagle-Eye Tracker Ike here, picking that up for us. Okay, now we get to find that Seg Star. Okay, there we go. There's a nice money and a nice tree pull for Ninjembro, getting 8 bombs.
And high five.
That's one of the more interesting high fives. And interestingly enough, they were on different tiers of price packs because Lynn got the red rupees. I'm not sure. I'm guessing one was a tier 2 and one was a tier 3. I'm not sure. Yeah, I won't. I shouldn't speculate. They just were on different tiers. Both got useful things, but right now I want the bombs more than I want the rupees because of the we've already done the Houlihan for money.
I think Ninjembro was on the tier 1. Linlinlin killed enough enemies, but I don't know if he sustained any damage.
Yeah. It only really, I should say, it does sometimes matter late in the game, but most of the time it only really matters early game.
Rats are in our bomb drops.
Nice.
As we head to the village, ready for a bunch of entrances, and the arrow game has just swapped worlds.
Yeah, and we have plenty of money, so we're not doing that today.
Ice Palace over at the Quarreling Brothers right.
Can't do anything in Ice Palace yet.
Race game is very interesting. That's a big key.
We're going to want to get that as soon as we can. Maybe not rush it, but yeah, certainly when you have the mirror, go get that big key. Hope it's one that's useful. Unless we get a late mirror, then you hope it's one that's not useful.
All right, we have a dark cave over here for Linlinlin. And it sounds like we are in the Old Man Rescue. Because of the way he's quick swapping.
Yeah, I doing the other dark caves just is awful. I mean, the one to the back of the old man isn't terrible, but this one is pretty straightforward. If you have your stereo on, which my setup doesn't allow for, you can use quick swap or a flute or something that kind of so you can hear whether you're in that left, right, or the center. And looks like Lynn was doing quite a good job, and he's going to be able to check these mountain entrances, and he's going to be able to get that early save quit spot to the old man, which is nice.
We do find ourselves a connector, which we're going to not take, as Ninjembro finds Thieves Town, 4 quick items.
Yeah, that connector's interesting. If that connector is available somewhere in the light world, that means everything here except the old man rescue itself is in logic.
And we do find a place where Linlinlin can get more bombs.
Yeah, I might even go in an extra time, because until you have a weapon, you want to, if you hit Mini Moldorm Cave, you really would rather have enough bombs to be able to deal with it. 4 is, 3 is the absolute minimum to be able to deal with it, but yeah, it's awfully tight, and you have to double hit the Moldorms on the left, so get that extra bomb farm. 8 is a much nicer number. I don't know that he goes back in again, but definitely like the going back. Yeah, I think 8's fine.
So Linlinlin wound up getting a map. It's one of our more useless maps, as it was Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that's not a useful map.
Yeah, then Hyrule Castle, right from the get-go, most useless. Small key up on Spectacle Rock.
Might have to come back for that. Small keys are a little less likely to have to come back for it, but then again, it could also be Swamp Palace small key. So there's a big who knows on that one.
And the last, well, that's not going to be the last for Linlinlin, because there's our Moon Pearl.
Nice.
In the fairy cave there, the Pyramid Fairy. We're going to take this connector because I think Linlinlin wants to find out how much in logic this mountain is, and
nope.
Can't do much there, and we're not going to go back and check the Light World stuff at this stage, or the Dark World stuff.
So yeah, I'm a little surprised he doesn't check the mountain start points. The one thing about this is by far my least favorite Sank start location because it's so close to Link's house that you're not getting a huge advantage going here, starting here as opposed to starting in Link's house. So hopefully the mountain starts are better. And I do wonder if it's actually quicker to walk from Link's house to the back here of Escape than start at the Uncle entrance and walk around.
Not when that red guard is in your way like that.
No, I mean I shouldn't say yeah exactly. But yeah, in general, if people have figured out, of course that guard is going to get in your way either way. So I don't know. Hookshot Cave for Ninjembro. I didn't see. I mean, I assume that was a Kakariko entrance. Unfortunately, we can only use this as a connector right now.
Old Man Front is right in Kakariko. So Ninjembro's about to find this when he gets back through. I did not see where Hookshot Cave came out, though.
It came out in the Hammer House in the Dark World. So it would be Dark World access with a hammer. Which, unfortunately, neither of our runners have. Lin will get that Moon Pearl soon. So that'll be good for him.
Yep, the Moon Pearl located in the pyramid. I did not notice that we did get that glove out of the back of Tavern.
Yeah, really nice to have an early glove because there are a bunch of locations for entrances early on that if you don't have a glove, you're going to be orphaning one entrance and it's going to be a pain to get back to. So always happy to get a glove before I have to make those decisions.
Magic Cape. A very interesting Magic Cape right there on the bottle vendor because, first of all, that will allow us, when we finally get access to the top of Hyrule Castle, to be able to get into that middle entrance there where Ganis Tower or Agate Tower normally is. But secondly, if we find Laser Bridge, all 4 items are now in Logic.
Yep. It also could be required for, or logically required for Spike Cave, if we find Bumper Cave, which normally doesn't go anywhere, but every once in a while is useful for that. So we'll see if that Magic Cape actually ends up meaning anything. Nice simultaneous heart piece pickups for our runners. Fortunately for Lin, did not get a refill off of that.
Ooh, Spiral Cave. That's
your
a
favorite.
Fun location.
If you don't want people to commentate on that, you shouldn't have an emote.
Too bad. We'll see if Ninjembro comes back. It's kind of hard to make that play. I mean, we do have the cape. We do have 5 hearts. But it's also kind of hard to make that play right now when you only have 4 bombs to take care of those mini Moldorms.
Yeah, I mean, you can get through, and you might be able to get through to the point and see the other side, but you're gonna take some damage. I think it's the most annoying cave. Like, Super Bunny has similar issues, but at least on that one, you might be able to get to it from the other side and never have to go through it.
All right, we found ourselves the well. 5 items coming our way.
The well not in an awful location is nice.
We have not seen Ganon, though, so you gotta hope that it's in one of these remaining entrances or drop-downs. And I'm not talking about the one that's at the pyramid, or not at the lumberjack tree.
Give me the vanilla Ganon drop. Unless my go mode is GT picky. Knowing that I just have to climb when I can is not a terrible thing.
That's a mirror right there.
Nice mirror. Yeah. Mirror doesn't open anything. No, it does. It allows, I mean, it doesn't quite allow access to that small key up in the mountain, but it will be available, sequence breaking it.
And we find Hype Cave over here, so we get ourselves our first big key that we can actually grab.
Good one.
It's the Tower of Hera. We get ourselves the 20 rupees, the arrows, the heart container, and also the blue rupee. So the mirror is a very important item in Crosskeys, and also the other thing about this mirror is it's going to allow Ninjembro to mirror as opposed to have to wait for death warps. in dungeons.
Yes. Yeah, that makes a huge difference. It also means you don't feel bad about picking up mail upgrades because death warping with red mail in certain locations is not great. Okay, Uncle at the lumberjack is the best.
Yeah, because you can get it's one of the two best. The other one being, of course, the useless fairy.
Yep. Just some money in it, but just the fact that I don't have to worry about killing Aga 1, period. Just never have to deal with it. I mean, I guess there's the niche case where it's your Dark World access. That just so rarely happens, though.
We find ourselves the potion shop over here at the Lumberjack house. Of course, we have not found the mushroom, so we can't really do anything about that just yet, but it's good to know where it is when you do. Because we have the glove, now we can access this cave, which can be kind of an orphan.
Yep.
And it's the anti-hype cave.
Yeah, like I said, these single glove spots that you have to skip if you don't get the glove. So nice not to have to worry about them later.
And I do like the fact that Linlinlin is continuing up here to the Lost Woods. Because one thing you don't want to see in these Crosskeys races is one person getting in the mirror early, the other one gets it like an hour later, and that creates a massive advantage.
Yeah, and most of the time it's advantage filled with the mirror. Every once in a while, the mirror spots are just all crap.
Tracy,
and then you get the time save, and then you get it. But then a late mirror just puts you on the wrong track. So
Tracy,
yes,
we have a vanilla Ganon.
Woohoo! Easy decision on the GT climb.
So as such, we will need to defeat Aga 2 to get ourselves to the end of this seed.
Yep, and a quake for ninjembro there. I guess we saw that earlier, right? Because Lynn's already done these checks, and there's that compass that you and I missed on the on Lake Hylia.
Yeah, Ikea is definitely on top of things as one of our trackers. Also, special thanks to Tummeltech, who's doing double duty on this race.
Yeah, they're the true MVPs. We just talk.
We just ramble.
That's right. All right, there's that big key to Hera for Lynn. Does he have no bombs? He has no bombs.
He does have 0 bombs.
That's a little unfortunate.
So we have a magic cape already, and we now find Bumper Cave.
Yeah.
And Ninjembra's going to go through it.
Let's see where this goes.
Not horrible. I mean, you're going to get to that area at some point anyway.
Yeah, and now when you can just stop at the because that's I believe that was a Gina's cave, so it's the last on that loop unless you get the book. So it's kind of nice to not have to go all the way there when you do those checks. And we will never have to go, or at least Ninjembro will never have to go through that entrance again. We'll see Lynn will either find both sides or just go through once as well.
And we find Sick Kid. We don't have a bottle yet, so we cannot get his redemption.
That's a terrible place to have to come back to. Still no weapons. Both runners with a glove and a moon pearl, but we have yet to find a reasonable Dark World access.
Find desert, which is annoying because this is a time-consuming process that Ninjembro is going to probably grab this item, take a mirror rather, and then maybe after checking Flute 5, will then choose to check the connectors.
Yeah, because at this point we're running out of places where we can get logical Dark World access. This could be it right here. He might also go ahead and check the torch and go out this entrance as well. The torch is just arrows. We're never picking that up.
And he will continue on, check the left entrance. This is why he's 5-1, and I'm barely trying to get up to 500 for next week.
All right, in the meantime, we're going to see... Oh, okay. Yeah, so the back of the old man entrance is over here near Eastern. Which is,
And-
that's not a terrible location.
Dark shopping malls and logic.
Fun.
So we can't do much about that cave just yet, not without a hammer.
Game wants us to do hammer things, and we don't have a hammer yet.
And we just
we-
desert
Oh my God.
right next to desert left.
Gotta love it. Now, ninjembro is probably going to check that one last cave that we just saw on Lin's side and not know. He won't know which dark entrance this is. You can kind of tell some of the things. Like, you can always tell the Old Man Rescue Cave with sound, because you'll hear Link leap off, but he won't fall down a hole. The other ones are a little harder to recognize, I'd say. So we'll see if he just saves and quits out of there. Lin about to find the same fun little connector setup. Yeah, looks like ninjembro just walked in, saw it was dark, and saved and quit.
And then Lin's going to find out the same news. Now, one interesting thing, I'm very confused to why ninjembro didn't do what Linlin's doing right now.
Yes, and ninjembro has bombs. Lin does not. He's okay. He found a bomb shop. Lucky bomb shop. Now he can blow up this entrance here. My guess is sometimes your brain doesn't have time to register exactly all the things you can do.
It's
when
like
you come
getting
upon something like that,
It's like having the flute in Kakariko Village. Sometimes you just forget to activate it. As we find the right side of Hyrule Castle. Bonk rocks over here from Linlinlin. Hey, you just bought some bombs? Well, here's some for you.
Yeah, and funny enough, so far our Dark World, our connectors have gone to Dark World, have gone to the Hammer House that we can't use because we don't have the hammer, to Dark Shopping Mall, which we can't do because we don't have flippers, and to the Laser Bridge entrance, which doesn't get you anywhere in the Dark World, but does get you access to East Death Mountain. Now that we have Mire.
Under a rock. My goodness.
Not a great spot for them. Ideally, you want them to be in Kakariko, and they do like to show up there, but not today. Oh, Lin's just gonna go ahead and break this Dark World. Yeah, he's gonna hit. Yeah, because this is much safer than trying to swim through the main part of that.
That gauntlet?
Lake.
No,
Yeah.
no.
This is much better.
Yeah.
He can go and do catfish, and then he can walk back and get all the stuff at the east, all the East Dark World things.
Turtle Rock main entrance has been located, and we find Spectacle Rock out of logic here for Linlinlin.
We'll see if he follows this.
Sword! My
Nice
goodness.
sword. I mean, you're yeah, okay. It looks like he's not gonna follow this. I'd be much happier to follow it with the sword, because then you can kill the mold worms on your way out. But on the other hand, I mean, this is not in logic. You have other things you can do here, and you're gonna find the front at some point, most likely. You just follow it then, or you might even find the back before you have a reason to take the trip through.
Get rid of that bee.
And ninjembro is gonna find all these things now, much less efficiently.
All right, then heading over here, we're going to check to see what Catfish has for us, out of logic, of course.
Lin ready on the mirror might be doing the Zora checks now, or could still just go back.
Ooh.
Oh, a book. Okay, well, if you're gonna get the book,
material.
you might as well get it early, so you won't have to go out of your way to do the book checks. We're not going to break the waterfall cave. I don't think we have anything for Splash to lead anyway, so we can't. The ledge is just bombs. We don't care about that.
And I think Ninjembro is thinking about going through the castle.
Yeah, I mean, we are running low on logical ways to get to the dark world without a hammer or another glove. So 2 entrances here, plus you have 10 bombs. You know, bomb escape. You're good at it. Go for it. Only the first check will be in logic, but we don't really care because we can get to the back items already. The biggest issue here from Ninjembro is since he doesn't have that sword that Lin has, this is going to be a lot slower for him than when Lin goes and does it.
And that probably is going to be the destination for Lin after this.
Yeah. So Lin's going to just be able to stop at this entrance right here and then go west for everything else because he's already done the Ice Rod Cave area.
Well, that was dangerous right there for Ninjembro. Finally gets the green guard to walk into the bomb.
Alright. We're done with the Hyrule Castle stuff. A Skullwood small key is potentially nice. Technically, you don't necessarily need Skullwood small keys to full clear the dungeon, although if your connectors for the front of Skullwoods are awful and you drop down into the pinball room, you might end up using that extra small key or wanting it.
And I will point this out, that is now the location of all 3 of the Skullwoods keys.
Oh, wow.
Because
Yeah.
the third one, of course, being in the pinball room.
Mm-hmm.
And Ninjembro having 2 of them.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Ether. To be determined. But the nice thing about having a Skullwood small key now is if you... right now we can't do Skullwoods. We don't have any fire source. But if we did have a fire source and we happen upon it in a bad spot, you can just go ahead and do it and never come back.
Main portion of the Dark World entry here through Hyrule Castle Middle.
Not a good connector either. That's an annoying one to have to go to each time.
Easier if we get the flute.
Yes. We get last graveyard ledge here from Ninjembro.
Ike here pointing out a very interesting statistic. We are 25 minutes into the seed, and we only have 3 keys total, as we find out that Ice and Eastern are our 5-6.
Okay, so Ninjembro didn't sequence break Dark Cross. Let's see if Lin chooses to check out that item. With a sword, it's a lot more viable
Enticing.
to do it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It's not even just. Well, okay, we have Mirror to get out, which also makes it much better because death warping in the dark is horrible. So, Lin with both the mirror and a sword is not going to have any trouble doing this. Ninjembro having not had the sword when he was in there makes it a lot. And he really doesn't have anything to see by, to be honest.
Curiosity shop found at the Dark Chapel, as Ninjembro will continue this route over here. And we're going to be held in suspense on what's on that bumper ledge for just a little bit longer. And interesting that Ninjembro is not grabbing that boomerang. Probably doesn't want that inventory slot to be taken away.
Yeah, maybe. But when you don't even have a sword, ooh, he missed the sign throw on the Murderdactyl. That's not good.
And there's the other boomerang.
Yeah, less useful for Lin because he's got a sword. But even just being able to stun enemies in your way is really nice. Okay. Ninjembro not done with that area.
That was a very close. Ooh!
That
Jumped down into the Moblin.
It even felt like he was waiting for the moblin to get out of the way, and maybe he accidentally pushed down. I'm not sure what happened there.
All right, walking right straight back, and maybe Linlinlin chooses to check the other entrance to
I'd
Hyrule
like to
Castle at
see
this point.
the other entrance. Yeah, I think that'd be good for him. Meanwhile, we have Ninjembro in Skull Woods. We don't know yet if it's the good layout or the bad layout, because we've only seen this entrance.
And this is another reason why it's kind of interesting that he did not pull the boomerang. Linlinlin's walking right back to this entrance, because this does open up a lot. It makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
All right, is this the good Skull Woods or the bad Skull Woods? And I'm surprised Ninjembro's picking up that key with already 2 of them in the arsenal, but it is the bad Skull Woods. Everybody have fun.
That extra key now means you can skip Pinball Room. You've got 3.
Maybe you drop into Pinball Room.
And yeah, and if you drop into Pinball Room, you don't care that you just don't care. Like until you've done everything. Ah, nice half magic.
That's a pretty solid find, yeah.
Half magic is one of the best luxury items. Actually, I often talk about powder being my favorite luxury item. I think in Crosskeys I like half magic a little bit better because a lot of the powder usage is like late in Turtle Rock, which doesn't quite apply because you can just enter at Laser Bridge and
There's
GT climb, which you often don't even have to do.
Although picking up that other key does allow Ninjembro not to have to walk all the way to the Pinball Room.
Yeah, this is great. He will be able to use both those keys. Doesn't have to worry about killing the Gibdo. Like, there's no real downside to it.
And there's the boomerang. We're gonna find out what our stun prize is. Fairies.
That's a nice stun prize. I kind of think of it as kind of an obnoxious stun prize, but to be honest, like now you don't have, like, powder is much less valuable, for instance, because now you just as long as you have something a stun weapon and a stunnable enemy, you just get a fairy anytime you want.
All right, back we go into the Dark World.
Yeah, Lynn's gonna go do the Skull Woods checks. He'll do these a little faster. For instance, with that Ether Medallion, he can do the big key chest much faster if he just wants to use Ether. And Lynn just says, I'm just gonna use the cape. I'm not even gonna bother with the sign.
And we get ourselves the Mire Shed. And Mire Shed has ourselves a map to Eastern Palace. Thank you. We already know that. And there's our lamp.
Okay, so the mountain's in logic now. Slightly more useful for Ninjembro because he hasn't done the mountain yet. And may be incentivized to go back to some of those dark caves that he's seen. See, Lynn wants both boomerangs.
So that's where Spiral goes.
That's not a bad... there's our... I mean, I don't even know if that's even... That may not actually be better because you have to go through Spiral Cave to get there, but that is another option the runners have to get to the Dark World now. Maybe if they had flute.
There's our Desert Small. So Sahasrahla located at the Thieves Town entrance, and we're going to find out what our green pendant is. Ha ha ha! Very funny.
The dungeon that we've seen. Thanks, game.
All right.
So one interesting thing about that small key to desert. Ideally, you want to check the desert chests when you have the hammer, so you could get those East Desert at the same time as Mimic Cave that's over there in the Dark Shopping Mall.
Yeah, but game has a sense of humor.
Yeah, I'll probably just put the hammer there so the runners don't want to do that. Castle Tower Small, the first one gives us an item. The second one, right, for this particular seed is useless. We know there's nothing behind Aga 1.
Tracy, it's just going to put the hammer in ice.
Say things like that.
I've lived through things like that.
Oh, so have I. But usually it's not the hammer and ice. It's like, it is hammerless ice. It's usually like the mirror or something awful like that. Won't be this seed, though.
Oh, that's right. So
Lin
Linlinlin
hasn't
did
seen
not
that
have any
cave.
bombs, so he didn't get the
Oh,
back
that's
three
right. That's
or
right.
back four here.
Yeah, the only useful item was the I want to say it was the Hera big key on the guy you talked to.
And the NPC, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the Hera big key is one of those items that I am always really happy to see that Hera big key because Herapot, the number of times that Herapot has screwed me out of that out of that big chest item when it was important. Yeah. Now we just don't have to worry about it. If we get the hook shot, we can still Herapot and go faster. And if we don't get the hook shot, then we just do it. And we get a small key for ninjembro in Eastern for Hera. So we can full clear Hera when we get there. No, we can't. No, yes, we can. We have a lamp. So we can full clear Hera when we get there.
Well, ninjembro still needs something to kill Moldorm, but yeah.
Okay, between the two runners, we can full clear
Yes.
Hera. That sword picked up by Lin out of logic over in the West Dark World. Sorry, the East Dark World. We're in the West Dark World.
Spectacle Rock.
Okay, one last check in this Eastern Palace. Oh, we're gonna get a pet check from Lin because he's got the book.
Might as well find out what we're in for this seed. An ice palace small key which tells us zip.
Nope, it doesn't do anything.
And it's part of our 5-6. So, in other words, the game is going to require you...
No, because you don't actually need a second. Depending on your item set, you might not even need that small key.
Right, I'm just trying to think here.
Yeah. I think the other Ice Palace small key has to not be available.
Right. So at this stage, Samaria defeat Cold Stare logically, perhaps?
Yeah. Laser Bridge was not a whole lot. But hey, we have a lot of money now.
Whole bunch of money, and Zora is a scam. What else is new, Tracy? What else is new? Hey, there's our entry to... There's our entry to Bumper.
It was West Hyrule Castle.
Okay.
West Hyrule Castle with the better Dark World connector. You do have to be careful when you fall down here. You need to hold left immediately to not get hit by the murder dactyl.
Or just
do the sword spin. So it's a little dangerous as a connector, but it's definitely faster than that other one. In the meantime, this big key that we looked at a long time ago is Pod Big Key, which is required if it's a crystal.
Time to find out what's inside of this entrance, and it turns out to be just a fairy fountain, so that completes that mystery for us.
Okay, lamp for Lin.
You know, for somebody who didn't have a whole bunch of magic, ninjembro's getting a bunch of magic drops.
Yeah, I mean, if you have this much money, I think I'd rather get those magic drops out of the dig game than the money. Unfortunately, the item that we dug up was just 50 rupees that we didn't need. In the meantime, we are just not finding dungeons. We have thieves and ice.
We're not finding a whole lot, really, Tracy.
No, we really aren't.
Nothing is showing up that... Okay, so that was where the Fairy Ascension came out. So we obviously have multiple logical ways that we're supposed to be up on this mountain.
Okay, Lin's going to go ahead and do Eastern as well, so it'll be even.
Yeah, chat was pointing out that Lin is somebody who likes digging Eastern out. Now, if I'm Ninjembro, I remember where this old lady comes out,
Yep.
the elder, because
I come back out afterwards.
after you save the old man, you wind up doing the 2 dark world on the left side of the mountain, mirror, and then
do it
go
again?
through there to check the right side.
Also, can do, because he's got the mirror, can get the small key that's sitting on Spec Rock. Can check out Hera entrance. Doesn't have the book, so he can't actually do the you can't check the ether tablet, so that's a little unfortunate, but there wasn't much on this cave, or there wasn't much in this mountain. Except
Really
maybe
wasn't
that
much on
small
this-
key.
Really wasn't much in this game to begin with at this
No.
stage.
We're still pretty. Our best, our Adologic sword is about the best we've gotten, honestly. And glove. We have the glove, so yay.
It would be nice if we get the other glove or perhaps the hammer, so that way we have the better entrances into the dark world, but
Flute would be nice as well. Okay, there's that Hera small key for Lynn. I am curious what this small key is for ninjembro.
Hyrule Castle.
The Hyrule Castle is such an interesting key because it has logical implications, but it also is either a great find because it puts things that in logic and things you can do and get both the back and the basement, or is completely useless because you have a starting spot that you can just go get the back.
I think there's really 2 circumstances where you're happy to see that Hyrule Castle key, and that is Lumberjack or
Yes.
Pyramid entries for Sanctuary.
Yeah, those are the ones where you're thrilled to see it. I mean, getting that key if it's the magic bat spot where you need the hammer, or the vanilla spot where you need a glove.
Yeah, that too.
If you don't have those items, it can be nice, but it might waste you some time too, because usually eventually you're going to have access to those. Oh, we found Castle Tower on Lynn's side. I didn't see where that was.
That was over at the left guard collar in the light world. GT key, by the way.
I mean, if we're going to need some of those. We do have to climb GT.
Logically, we need 4 of those.
We'll want to get, depending on how we route the basement, we'll want 2 or 3.
Right. Obviously, logically, 4 of them. We're going to have to get all 4 at some point. Front of tavern over here at the Spike Cave entrance, so nothing there.
The game can have
And-
jokes for us there too, because those first 2 chests on the climb.
Swamp
Ooh, that's a
small.
Okay,
That
that is a biggie if Swamp is a crystal. It could be if it's a pendant, maybe not as good.
And Linlinlin is going to be checking
Lynn's gonna
Spiral
do-
Cave,
yeah.
and here goes doing exactly what I thought he was going to do. And
Yeah,
we're going to go ahead and see on the east side of this mountain what we got.
Yeah, and Lynn didn't have this option when he was up here because he was up here early and without a mirror.
Hey, there's a swamp.
What a terrible spot for like. Okay, so if we get a flute, that's actually not so bad.
And that's another good cave to find right there, although Ninjembro would like to have actual weapons.
Well, he's nice bomb drops from the Moldorm, so he should be fine.
Yeah, but he'd still would like to have an actual weapon as opposed to
Oh, for sure.
waiting out 4 bombs.
Well, some weapons are slower than bombs.
We get our third big key. There's
to
Ice
ice.
Palace. Another key that we don't necessarily need, but you are happy to get. Oh!
You're happy to get the Ice Palace big key before you go into ice. After you go into ice, you're really upset to see it. Oh, don't ever show up, please.
So Ninjembro found, or rather Linlinlin found the laser bridge.
Yeah, we saw this on Ninjembro's side. This is in Village.
Yes. And there's the other side of...
Oh, Oh, poor ninjembro.
Spectacle Rock, but he knows when he
He gets-
finds the entrance at the Dark Potion, he will have access.
Yep. Okay, good use of cape here, because these tech dice will destroy you.
2 hearts damage.
Not doing spike cave yet.
Speaking of things that can kill you,
I mean, it can't kill him now.
and full of bombs, not much you can do there.
Yeah, I think he was thinking that he needed bombs and realized pretty quickly that, no, wait, I really don't need bombs.
So I think if Ninjembro plays this out, he will choose to, well, he's going to get the fairy now so that he doesn't die in the light world. He's going to go through Spectacle Rock, and we're going to get to see where the bottom comes out.
Yeah, I think that's a good play for him.
So, chat wondering where the sword is. We're going to see it coming up here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. Can't get there from here for Ninjembro.
Yeah, the only way you can sequence break that sword is with the hover. Of course, we don't have boots, so that would be really, really difficult. And I don't think Ninjembro hovers anyway. So he's not getting that sword until he finds that entrance that we need. And where does this take us? Oh, laser bridge. Not laser bridge. TR bridge. The other bridge.
With the back to desert.
No, Big Key can't do it. That is an awful location to have to come back to.
I guess we're walking back through that cave again later.
Yep.
Palace of Darkness.
That's so gross.
Oh my, that's a solid find.
But we only have one small key. No hammer, no bow.
It's still a solid find.
It's just what a terrible location.
It's an annoying location to get to.
Yep. Really nice if Ninjembro maybe if he could get a. Well, he'd have to get a big key and a weapon for the.
There's the flippers on Stumpy.
Oof. So Ninjembro went and came over to the mountain because he hadn't done it yet, and Lin didn't need to do that. So yeah, those flippers just put a bunch of things in logic.
GT small number 2.
We need those. Yeah, we're gonna get to see one more item here from Ninjembro, unless he has learned to mimic lip. I know he didn't used to do it, so it is definitely something he might have picked up recently.
Hair has been located over here at the bomb shop.
Well, full clearable for Lin.
So, one thing to note, as Ninjembro's the first one to find Hotel Mario. One thing to note, those flippers that Linlinlin has found, that sword is now in logic.
Yes. Okay, Ninjembro finding out where his start spots for the old man are.
Yeah, he saw this earlier, I believe, in Kakariko Village when he was doing all those checks, and is going to go through Spiral Cave, and this is what's going to allow Ninjembro to get back to the other stuff. So he will get to Stumpy, he will get to the bomb shop. And knowing that the Spiral Cave came out here at the Sea House is probably why he chose to take that Fairy Ascension Cave.
It gets him the item, which is marginally useful. Also, of note, when Lin doing Hera went straight to climbing it, didn't even check the main floor item. So I suspect he goes back in, checks that item, and maybe even does the basement.
Given the current route, you have to. This is annoying to get back to.
Yes.
It's like swamp in situations where you had to go through Aghanim to get to the Dark World in standard modes.
Alright, there's those flippers from Ninjembro. This is not going to be great for him, though, because he won't have a weapon for this. So he can do everything but the fight. Unless, of course, one of those other two chests decides to have a sword or the hammer.
Or these other entrances.
That's right, we haven't seen these yet.
And we have ourselves
Good Ice Rod Cave.
with a big key to Mire.
Okay, we might need that.
All right, keep your eye over here on the right side. This will tell us a couple of things. Well, that's a small key to Turtle Rock. So ninjembro, if he goes in here and he doesn't get anything in this next cave he's coming across, will not be able to finish this Hera.
Yeah, I imagine he'll at least do the two quick items. May or may not do the basement, and I don't know if you climb here when you know you can't finish the dungeon. I don't think I would, except this is kind of a bad, as you say, it's not a great spot for it. Not a great spot to come back for, and yeah, that Misery Mire, we just can't do it right now. We just, without boots or a hook shot, just can't do it. And this is where ninjembro skipping the boomerang is hurting him, because he's gonna have to use a bomb for every switch.
Yeah, and this is also going to slow him down because it's going to take time for those bombs to explode.
Yep.
All right, basement of the Tower of Hera coming up here for Linlinlin. The hook shot.
Oh, wow. So this that's actually pretty funny. And you know, if ninjembro goes and gets that hook shot, suddenly doing those other two checks are not as bad because he can just Hera pot up there, do the two checks quickly, and then mirror from the big chest, and doesn't toss nearly the amount of time that it would if he had to climb up the normal way.
Get ourselves a bottle with a B in it and a compass to the Tower of G. Thank you. Tower of
See, there's a absolutely useless compass. A little surprised that Lynn didn't let that bee go and see if he could get something better by throwing that bottle into the pool, but I always forget to do that too, so.
And guess who with a hook shot has the ability to do at least something in Mire?
Oh yeah? Well, not just the hook shot. Like, this is still not going to be in logic for ninjembro because he doesn't have bombs by themselves. Don't put Mire 2 in logic. You need something to kill the wizards with.
That's true.
So I mean, theoretically, you could do it, but I don't think bombs even kill wizards. I don't even think you can do it. But Lynn says no. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think ninjembro goes and does these checks if he hadn't gotten the hook shot. But now they're so much quicker. You can just do them, and when he comes back to beat the dungeon, he can do it quickly with the hook shot.
Yeah, at some point in time, he will find out that he will have to defeat this dungeon, as we saw from Linlinlin. This is a crystal.
Okay, first book check from Lynn. Or first tablet check. We did CPAD earlier.
Oh gosh, game, really?
Well, here's hoping that by the time ninjembro can check that, he's got book and master sword. We can't wish that on Lynn because he just did it. Let's see if ninjembro decides to throw the bottle and see if he can get something better.
Nothing.
I mean, is it that much worse to have nothing than having the bee? But it certainly isn't better.
Alright, this is going to give ninjembro the access to this right-hand side. And remember, we got the cape earlier. We have access to that Agate Tower entrance.
Yep. Then finding the other side of Bumper. Now it probably feels pretty good that he didn't check it earlier.
Yeah, we're going to get that desert entrance coming up here in just a moment.
Nice blue mail. We'll be able to get that once we have whatever access to Mire the game decides to give us.
And this is an endpoint for Lynn.
Unless it's a connector, yeah. It's not. Yeah, because the only way to get Alpha there is walking through whatever cave you have or fluting away. And it wasn't a connector, and we don't have the flute. Okay, pod small. 2 pod smalls opens up a ton, but not logically. But we can do a lot more in pod if ninjembro wants to. I imagine he probably tries to wait until he has a few more pod smalls, since it is kind of out of the way.
Hey, Sanctuary Heart.
Oh
The
yeah,
map
we have
just
Hookshot
won't
Cave.
tell us. And there's our Titan's mitts.
Yeah, mitts are a thing in Crosskeys. Sometimes you just don't ever want to see them. It's early enough that they're still going to be useful for sure.
A little more convenience into the Dark World, and Hyrule Castle's top has absolutely nothing.
Complete garbage.
All right, so Ninjembro here, depending on which way he goes, might be finding that sword real soon. Yep, that's the next spot he's going to check.
Yeah, I can see, like, right now you have this check plus catfish, and catfish is always an item. Plus, you could loop it in with Zora, which is what Lin did. But in Ninjembro's case, he could get one more entrance out of it because he has the flippers. The other choice, of course, being go over to the pod area, which is slow, annoying, and unfortunately probably something I'll have to do eventually anyway. And Smithy tour time, yay.
Yep, and you got to take him all the way down here to the south end. It was interesting the fact that the Smiths were under a rock this seed. You don't see that much.
No, you don't. And even in Crosskeys, having the mirror is super useful for Smiths.
And Ninjembro is about to pick up the book.
Which, given that we have a useful item on one of the tablets, could work out in his favor, since that sword sitting there on Bombo's tablet could be his if he manages to wait long enough to have a second sword.
And we just lose 5 rupees by doing the breadsmiths.
Yep.
But, of course, the purple chest, could still have something. Ninjembro's going to lump this together with checking the Zora, and we did not get to see the waterfall cave entrance here from Linlinlin.
Yep, did not have flippers and really didn't have a splash delete item.
And it's nothing.
Yeah,
if you need rupees, you could grind there, but we don't need rupees.
I love finding that cave early, but finding it this late whenever I got 1,500 rupees, yeah, not so great. Okay, now we're going to go into Mire. 0 keys, so the left side's not going to be in logic. I just expect he'll at least do the compass room check. It wouldn't surprise me if he skipped the vanilla big key. It's slow, you have to do it with a lamp.
Yeah,
I always say
people,
people, that skip that location aren't skipping it because of logic, though. They're skipping it because it's slow.
You know what they say about logic, though.
Well, you have to. I know what they say about logic. What I say about logic is, it's okay to break it, but you better be keeping track of it.
Yeah, and runners that are currently 5 and 1 do a whole lot better job of tracking it than a lot of the other runners that you see.
Absolutely.
You get me 3 spears ahead of where I'm supposed to be. I'm like, where was I supposed to be?
Also, I like the use of the cape for the spike chest there, since there's like no pots with hearts in this dungeon. But there's a ton of pots with magic. Although we do have the fairy stun prize if Lin remembers to use it.
Is there anything that you can... The only
I
thing
was going to say, there aren't that many stunnable enemies in this dungeon.
Yeah, the only thing you can stun are the Staffos.
Yeah. But that'll work. Okay, Ninja, we're going to find that this dark cave that he probably marked as dark is just the start of...
Yep,
it's just over near Eastern.
Although Ninjembro is going to go further, because what he's going to do now is probably go check Sick Kid and the right side of desert.
Yeah, I like this. It would have been nice to be able to wait for the hammer, to be able to follow the connector to get to Mimic Cave, but you just got spit out here. Might as well make use of it.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, is being able to adapt your route based on what this seed hands to you.
All right, we are going to see the big key chest over here in Mire. Let's see if we were supposed to find 3 Mire Smalls or if we don't care where they are.
I say we care about them. Just a hunch. Yep, we care.
Yeah, we care.
We care.
I mean, that could that could be our logical silvers, but wow, nice to have that bow. He'll be able to do a lot more in pod easily when he finds it. Doesn't open anything in Eastern because we don't have the big key yet, but it does make it so it's one less thing we need before we go to Eastern. We'll see when ninjembro goes back there. And Sick Kid,
just giving us
just a map.
Map to Palace of Darkness.
Well, ninjembro will know whether it's a pendant or a crystal.
We only know 3 of our dungeons so far. Or 4, technically, with Hera.
Crazy,
which is
though.
weird for 58 minutes into this.
Yeah, that's a lot of dark things on the tracker right now.
All right.
One last
2
check in
more-
Hera.
Yeah, one more check in Mire.
Yeah, by Hera, I mean Mire. Small key to pod. Okay. So I think that might.
No,
I'm not sure
we
if this-
didn't. Yeah, we didn't get this chest. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right.
Maybe this, Lynn might have been waiting on this one just in case the cane showed up, because then what you do is you hook shot from the other bridge here to get it, and then you fall down.
That hesitation just to find the bombs. All right, so we're going to see the Swamp Small coming up here for ninjembro. Obviously, that doesn't do anything for us at this stage because we have not found the dam. Ninjembro has found where Swamp Palace is. It's over on Death Mountain, right side Death Mountain.
On Mimic Cave entrance, in fact.
No, that was where the desert back was.
Oh, you're right.
Swamp Palace was the reverse of where the Elder spat you out.
Right.
Fairy Ascension.
We saw Desert Pod and Swamp kind of in succession there, so they all kind of decided to show up together. We're gonna get Man Under the Bridge from Lynn. I like doing it like this.
Getting caught against the rocks?
No, the mirror part. Yeah, Lynn demonstrating why swimming is horrible in this game.
Is there a game where swimming is actually good?
Not really.
Swamp Pod are crystals.
And yet games keep giving us water levels.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. That's like, you want to quantify that as a good water level?
No, I have to say that Sonic is the worst water game, because not only is it slow in a game that's meant to go fast all the time, but you also have to wait out the bubble so you can breathe.
And then, of course, you get the dun 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 that speeds up to make you feel worse about yourself.
I mean, how dare they put actual real physics in my video games? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish Hera real quick.
Yeah, he'll be happy to find out that this is a crystal. Let's go ahead and... Oh, wait. Before we get to that, I was going to say let's go ahead and shout out our crew here. But before we do that, let's go ahead and find out what's the 5 checks here in Blind's Hut. Oh, there's our mail. But nothing that moves the needle as far as where the seed wants us to go. Although that might be a different story.
No. Give it back. We know that's a pendant. In fact, it's green pendant. And
Game doesn't care.
We'd be happy never to see it. Take it back. Take it back.
Game doesn't care.
Oh, I know that.
It's gonna put the hammer in blind cell.
Ugh. First the hammer and ice, now the hammer and blind cell. Rick.
I'm just speaking through painful experiences that I had to deal with in this game.
Oh yeah, I mean I have too. So it's.
Misery loves company.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Misery loves company.
All right, so we got a full cleared Hera from Ninjembro. We never have to see that dungeon again today.
And he's going to go right into Mire as well.
That'll be good for him as well, yeah.
He will have a small key going in.
Yeah, that'll make his route. If he chooses to do the left side, and we hope he does, because there's a bow there, this will make his routing a little cleaner, because you don't have to go steal the pot key.
And then it's going to go ahead and check Sick Kid together with the pod entrance, and then check the right stuff of Desert. All right, so as we're checking the same items flipped on the other side, now we can go ahead and tell you to be sure to follow our runners. We got Ninjembro, we have Linlinlin. Also, be sure to give our shout-outs here, or give our love to Tombo Tech, who's doing double duty here. Not only are they tracking this, but they are also the restreamer for this match here on CSR. But also, Ikir is doing this as well.
Yeah,
and Tracy, this has been
restreamers.
Fun.
Yeah, trackers and restreams, MVPs, and of course, it's always fun. And really, no one with a huge advantage yet. Ninjembro may look a little behind, but he's done a bunch of extra checks over in the over at East Death Mountain that Lin will need to get to and has not yet.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to determine who had the more optimal route at this stage.
Yeah, there have been places where things have looked better, more optimal for Lin, and other places where they've been more optimal. Like right here, Ninjembro saving some time in Mire compared to what Lin did, because he came in with a small key. On the other hand, Lin didn't have to double dip Hera, so...
And that is the end of the route there for Lin, and then back to start we go.
And fortunately, Ninjembro is doing the cutscene here and will get his bow. There are people that just will not do this check, even with the keys to put it in logic. So, like I say, if you're skipping this check, you're skipping it because it's slow, not because it's not in logic.
All right, here comes the old man rescue. Well, not the old man rescue, but this will get him back up to the mountain.
Yep.
And he will find himself over on the right-hand side of this mountain. We'll be able to mirror. He's going to probably check the Hera entrance and also the the ether tablet first before doing that. And then also, and then still needs to check the DDM, the left side DDM entrances as well.
Yeah, he's going to find this pod and be able to do more of it than Ninjembro did. But still not necessarily to an advantage, because... You know, if Ninjembro waits long enough and has an extra key or a hammer, he might be able to do even more. Pod is that weird dungeon where, like, sometimes you just keep doing it in small little chunks each time you get back to it. And this pod is in a bad enough location that I'm not rushing back there if I'm Ninjembro. I want some more small keys to go with a check there, or, make it so I can at least beat the dungeon.
Yeah, because the big thing here... Smalls. Yeah, the big thing here for Ninjembro is the fact that the only thing that really is in logic for him that he hasn't picked up yet is the bow side, the 2 checks over there.
Yep.
As we find out what's on the ether, it is just couch cash. That would have been something if that was where another sword was located.
I mean, that's like isn't that the dream? Like the PED sword into 2 swords on tablets meme thing. Like, no, thank you, no. We'll pass on that. All right, well, let's see. Ninjembro probably going to head over to the other checks at the pod area.
And a very good point there by Chad is the fact that we are 3 Mire Smalls. We've only seen one of them. We're 3 Mire Smalls away from having, or we need 3 Mire Smalls in order to put that bow in logic. So that's not what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, none of that stuff's in logic. I mean, that bow is probably logical silvers, but we won't know that for a while.
So as we're starting to dwindle down on the amount of checks, it almost screams to me. God, I hate saying this, Tracy, but remember how I was just teasing about the whole we have stuff to do in Thieves Town and maybe there might be a hammer there?
Yeah, one logical check there because we don't have the small key.
There might be something there in that chest at this point.
There could be. We're kind of right. Yeah, we're running low on logical checks. We have Ice Palace found, but we can't do anything there. We have Swamp Palace found. We can't do anything there. We've full cleared Hera. We full cleared what we could in Desert. We full cleared what we could in Eastern. We full cleared everything that's logical in Pod, but there is more stuff that we could do there. And we'll probably see some of that from Lynn, because the lack of logic doesn't stop you from doing those pod things when you find it for the first time. It just stops you potentially from going back.
Right. We had the two that are on DDM. We have the two entrances that are the mint block, which is what Linlinlin's going to find here in the very near future.
Yep.
And also, purple chest.
Yeah. Because everybody wants to do purple chest. There's that Thieves Town big key for ninjembro.
All right, here we go. Got these two entrances coming up here from Lynn.
Yeah, these are new.
Nothing in door number 1. Door number 2. Still nothing.
Less than nothing. I think the first one was a shop at least. Ugh, yuck. Lynn with 15 bombs, that makes that cave quite not useful. And no hammer means Spike Cave is still not doable.
So the next step here for Linlinlin is going to be doing the same thing that we saw from Ninjembro.
Yep. Lynn managed to get that sword a lot earlier by doing some thick flippering over from the Dark Shopping Mall into Dark Potion Shop. Did not choose to check the connector though.
Whew. So yeah, I think we're gonna be here for a while before we get a question for you. Because I just thought of this. Wait, where did Ninjembro just check?
He was somewhere in East.
It
was either, I think it was pod entrance.
It was Kiki, the pod entrance.
Yeah, so we have a map.
Either of these runners has either of these runners checked what is at the upgrade ferry / the Ice Palace? Because those are still 2 more entrances I don't think we've checked yet.
I don't think we have seen those. Because neither one of them got to the... Because we did the Ice Rod Cave... Lynn did the Ice Rod Cave with the mirror from Dark Shopping Mall. Ninjembro walked there later, but didn't have the flippers yet. They did the Zora area with a mirror from Catfish. So yeah, we haven't actually done any swimming in Lake Hylia. We are going to see some more things over here in Pod from Lynn. Some new stuff coming.
Some new stuff that is not in Logic. And time to go investigate what is inside a green pendant Thieves Town.
And I think you finished this, even though the only actual logical check is the basement.
Yeah.
And, I look at our runners, and both of them are going to be getting some out-of-logic checks. But Lynn doing this makes sense, because this is when he happened to find Pod the first time. So he's going to do as much of it as he can. Ninjembro is really far away from doing Pod, but does know that one location is in Logic in a completable Thieves Town.
The flute is nice. Behind the bow.
Oh, that gives us a whole bunch of checks, too.
Out of Logic checks, but this game is just not caring at this point.
No, it really isn't.
Okay, so where is Mire 2 and Mire 3?
Maybe right here? No, GT small.
Yeah, well, we already saw that from Ninjembro, that GT small.
Yes, we did. I just hope that the answer isn't a 4th pod small key to put a bunch of this stuff in logic.
Hammer and the
geez,
compass chest.
Okay, that's huge. Okay, now I do hope there's another pod small key here in Thieves Town, because a 4th pod small I think makes coming back here worth it, because you can do everything but the boss.
And all we have found is half of that requirement so far.
Yeah, and Lynn's not going to be able to beat this dungeon because he's used up his small keys. Now, fortunately, we can do these last 3 checks with a hammer jump. And it's really nice to already have the big key when you're doing this hammer jump. You never have to worry about doing it a second time.
Another bottle located over here. Now we get to our 1 in logic check over in Thieves Town for Ninjembro. Nothing.
Just arrows.
10 arrows. Feel bad, man.
Yeah. And the worst part is, what if if there is an answer in the big chest? Like that's gonna be a hard last location for Ninjembro. We can just hope he gets something good out of logic.
And there's Lynn finding Hotel Mario. And with the hammer, Lynn is going to check to see what we have inside Spike Cave.
Yeah, this is really heads up. Can just do this right now. Has plenty of magic to do this with the cape. Is gonna be done with this route, so we'll be able to save and quit out of whatever is going on here. Meantime, Blind has
nothing.
Rupees.
I
Spike Cave also has nothing, but we still have the green pendant, so that could be a thing. You never know.
And for Ninjembro, he's going to check that green pendant when he does the breadsmith chain. At least the first part of this breadsmith chain. Now, the big thing here for Lynn, now with that flute, his mobility is going to increase over what we see from Ninjembro.
Yeah, I'm still wondering. I'm very much wondering if we're going to see either a pod small to put the hammer in logic, or, well, not there, we're not, or a second bow to put the right side of pod in logic. Because what actual logical checks do we have?
A couple of them that Lynn is coming up to right now.
And these entrances?
These 2 entrances at the Upgrade Ferry and Ice Palace.
Little surprised that Ninjembro didn't grab the smith here.
Going back to Fairy Ascension Cave, back of Super Bunny.
Okay, 2 items here.
And a chance for Lynn to recover his magic.
Always a nice perk of this cave.
A compass. Thank you very much, game. And the other...
Which isn't as meaningful for Lynn anymore. Although...
Ninjembro's going back to pod.
Oh, that's good for him. I mean, it is a very dense item set of items.
Oh, he's going to check these 2 entrances here, but I think he's going to go to pod after this.
Yeah, he's got Mire, so he'll check these 2 and then...
left!
West Turtle Rock, ew. Without a cane, so this is 1 location in logic, one location just barely out of logic, because we have 3 smalls. This chest that we just saw right now is behind 4 small
again. Keys. There it is. Yep, here goes Ninjembro. He's heading to pod. So the mobility advantage that Lynn has is not going to be as big as some of us may have thought. Mire map, thank you, game.
Yeah, also the nice thing about having 3 Turtle Rock smalls is he didn't even bother with the pokey key. Because going from back to front, you can save on a bunch of keys.
There's got to be something coming up here in this chest. There has to be something.
Pod 4?
Unless it's the purple chest.
That's the dumb thing, is it could just be pod 4 to put the hammer in logic.
But it's 300 rupees.
300 rupees. Purple chest. Okay, we're going to have to go turn in a purple chest.
Where did Ninjembro get that other pod key that Lin is missing?
Let's see. He's got 2 now.
Right! Ninjembro, or rather, these 2 runners have the Turtle Rock Bigs, so we have Crystal Roller Room.
Yes, that's right. One more entry, one more location here. You hope to do this with the big chest.
Or reverse yourself with a Cane of Samaria out of Laser Bridge, but sometimes game don't care. Put something in logic over here.
And again, it could be another bow to put that flute in logic and put everything over in Mire.
Sword upgrade!
Well, okay, sword is good. That doesn't...
It gets us another sword. It gets us another sword.
I mean, yeah, it gets us another sword, and that's great.
By the way, one thing to point out, Ninjembro's going to be able to beat this pod.
If he uses his keys right, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't see, once he gets his hammer, why he would not use these keys that would allow him to beat this dungeon.
Right, because if you don't get the hammer, then it's perfectly legit to go ahead and open up this harmless hallway. But he's going to see this hammer and say, you know what? Let's just go beat it.
We on our end get to see his reaction to it.
Yes, we do. Shovel. Oh, have we seen Lin use that shovel yet?
No. I mean, it's been low priority because we're just trying to figure out what is our in logic here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Ninjembro's going to do the same hammer jump to get these 3 items here.
And you know what Lin's going to do? He's going to do the hammer pegs. He's going to do the purple chest and then claim his tempered sword.
Yes, I like that route a lot.
There is no way that you don't pass up the opportunity. There's no way that you don't pass up the opportunity at being able to kill a lot of your stronger bosses much easier with the tempered sword, knowing where it is. And
Ninjembro having not turned in the smith, I could see him doing a similar route if he manages to get... Oh, jeez, that's not useful. Because he's going to have that flute, so that flute takes him straight to flute 8, where he can do the checks, the Turtle Rock checks, get that sword, and then having that sword would incentivize him. Okay,
we're going to flute to 4, we're going to go back into the Dark World, then we're going to turn in the
that works
purple
too.
chest.
That works too. But yeah, Ninjembro probably isn't going to be able to get the purple chest as easily, but he'll get the smith here, because the smith spot is really close to where you would check the ether tablet, or sorry, the bombless tablet. And in Ninjembro's case, he hasn't seen it yet, so it's a completely new check for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Lin, you forgot something.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you hit the A button to swim, you lose your chest.
No, my controllers always lose their A buttons quickly, so I never use A to swim. Controller preservation strats.
Rest in peace, hover controllers.
Yeah, I mean, that's my biggest... Okay, so, see, I kept saying...
It's in logic!
Pod 4 to put stuff in logic.
That means the Mire entrances are in logic, Tracy.
Yes, and I think that's where Lin will go next once he does this this tablet. So Ninjembro could miss that completely if he decides to do the Mire area before doing this other stuff, before doing purple chest.
Oh, you're totally happy with everything that Linlinlin just got. Silvers and tempered sword.
Yep, absolutely. And now that he I mean, I don't think he was going to wait much longer on this area anyway, but like now that he knows that stuff's in logic, he's going to just do all this stuff now. We need a bombos, which we don't have.
Yep, of course, it's the one medallion that we don't have. We do find the back of Skull Woods.
Not in logic, but we're going to go ahead and beat this anyway, because with the lamp, it's really not hard.
Unless we get the fire rod here.
Oh, that'd be nice. Meanwhile,
it's not.
Almost down for Ninjembro.
And we get ourselves
Nice.
a piece of heart and a crystal for the efforts here.
Okay, I mean, nice that Ninjembro probably doesn't ever have to come back here. There's still 2 items left that he hopes he never has to come back to, but you don't touch those until you have 6 keys.
Or in these cases, 5.
Honestly, I'd try and wait for the 6th key just to force the game to tell me, hey, there may be something there. All right, very nicely executed by Lin on the bomb jump to light the first torch. Something you'll never see in non-entrance modes because you have to have the fire rod just to get into this cave.
Waiting out the hand that takes you all the way back to start. And now time to destroy a Mothula. Solid fight, and Ninjembro's not going to worry about the logic, just going to head on over here.
Yeah, a little unfortunate because he's going to be incentivized to do this Skull Woods as well, which turns out to be a pendant with a fighter sword instead of with tempered.
Ninjembro's going to get the same news. Bombos to get into the Mire entrance. Check this here. Probably go and try to tackle Mothula as well. As we find there's our dam.
Oh, hey, we can go do Swamp Palace now if we want.
Fully beatable, too.
1 item left behind if we go, because no big key, but it is a... Let's see, we don't know whether it's pendant or crystal, so it is a dungeon we can beat.
Well, Ninjembro took the map, so we know we need to beat Swamp. But Lin, I don't think, has that map yet, so still question mark in that decision.
Yeah, 1 more pendant outstanding, since we now know the Skull Woods is a pendant, and of course we knew that the East Town was a pendant.
We find Quarreling Brothers, which is probably an entrance that you... Okay,
Nope,
Paradox.
nope.
We say hi to that one after we're done with this route.
Yeah, so Paradox, I do that before Quarreling Brothers because I want to get the items anyway. And then if I can make my way back, well, I could just flute, so it's fine.
And
make your way back there.
And the other big thing is that we are still with that 1 forced exit. Because in Crosskeys, or actually 2 forced exits. Because in Crosskeys, there are certain caves where you are forced out, where the exits have to take you out to. One of them being like the floating island, which we haven't seen. The other being something like Desert Right, which is something that you don't want to see, but it's still one of your force outs.
You don't mind getting it over with, because it's not like you can't walk right back in. And Ninjembro choosing to grab the red mail. It makes a certain amount of sense, since Lin's already on Tempered Sword and Ninjembro's still on Fighter Sword, so there's a little more value in having better defense for him.
Yeah, so Floating Island and Desert Right are 2 force outs at this point.
I bet we're going to see both of them.
Yeah, I have a feeling Mire's small.
Yeah, so our silvers are getting closer to logic.
There's our boots in Paradox.
Okay, well, Ninjembro's going to find that too, so no huge boots advantage.
Yeah, I like
Lin
seeing
with that
even
sword
boot
advantage.
I like seeing average or not 2 major boot differences.
Yep.
All right, so there's one of our force outs right there with the floating island. Nothing great there. We take our 10 arrows and we like it.
I wonder if he's going to go check the other... No, it is the only one we really care about. So the other entrances, it's not really a big deal if you don't check them, most likely.
See how it's located over here. With just a piece of heart.
And since we've already seen everything in the drop-downs, we don't have to make the tough decision of whether to drop down the middle or drop down the side. And hi, GT, we need you.
Yes, we do.
So we can do all of the left side. We have not seen...
Oh, Ninjembro took the connector. I think he took Quarreling Brothers.
Well, he can just flip back. It's fine.
Yeah, it's still just unfortunate that he decided to take the connector.
Oh, he's not going back. That's the unfortunate part. Going back for
Swamp. He's doing swamp now.
Oh, and he's not gonna have the boots
Without
for
the boots.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. Now, he might find some good things. Boots often not required in Crosskeys, but dang, they're nice. Big key to Eastern.
We need that.
We do need that.
A big or a small key to this
Logical,
dungeon.
I think, is that logical 4 or logical 3? I guess it's logical 3. So now we can just do everything easy. Well, I mean, we're doing the left side first, so we don't... worst case scenario was you steal the small key in the drop down. I'll see if ninjembro full clears this swamp, or if he does left, or if he skips the left side. I personally like to leave the left side if I don't have the big key, and give myself 3 items to potentially come back for. We'll see what ninjembro decides to do.
Getting bullied around by the Staphos is ninjembro as Lin gets up to the 13 hearts.
Now keep in mind, we do have to climb. So if Lin manages to find a GT big key, I think you just climb now. As Ganon is hanging out in his vanilla pyramid location.
I say he climbs, but before he does that, hey, there's our Hyrule Castle small.
Yay. Oh, another pod small too.
Which is what Lin needed. Lin needed that key.
Need that. You're right, he does. Ninjembro, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and do left side swamp here. Hopefully something good shows up for him.
So the one thing here for Lin is if he does get the big key in the next 4 checks, what I see him doing is mirroring out of here, because you still got to check the Paradox exit in the light world and see if you can get into the Turtle Rock entrance.
Fair enough.
Wrong King game.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need a Cane of Samaria because of our dungeons that we don't know. Only one of them could be a pendant, and so Mire and Turtle Rock cannot both be pendants.
There's our other sword. There's our bombo, so we are guaranteed into the Turtle Rock entrance.
We can do ice now.
Yes, we can.
Heart container on left side.
And nothing
And
left
bombs.
side swamp.
That's a time that I don't know that he'll get back from Lin when Lin does Swamp Palace. And his bombos. Kind of sort of key on the doorstep. Now we may not need that fire rod that we haven't found yet. If Turtle Rock's our last pendant. Castle Tower 2 is useless, as is the Turtle Rock entrance.
And at this point, you drop down and you're going to join ninjembro here in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, very nice routing by Lin here. We'll see if he decides to go left side as well.
This is crazy. We don't, at this point, have an idea of what our shopping list is.
We know we need Cane.
We know we definitely need that, but what else we need is still up for question mark at this point. There's Ice Rod if we need to do Turtle Rock.
Yep. We know we need the cane, and then it's like we might need the Desert Big Key. We might need the Turtle Rock Big Key. Actually, we have the Turtle Rock Big Key.
Yeah, because that was how Lynn was able to get that other sword.
Yep. And Lynn also going to make up some time, gain some time on Ninjembro in this fight. Ninjembro's going to have to do the sword spins or the menu boss. I personally prefer doing the sword spins here. Ninjembro not quite getting it. You do need to get a double hit every time you do it. Unless like that second puff there, you might have seen that one of them got double hit and the other one got single hit. So next time that one comes up, it would die with one spin.
And this is going to be another case where Lynn gets a time advantage over Ninjembro.
Yep.
This is going to be a much shorter fight for Linlinlin.
Yeah, Tempered is so much better in this fight. And also, Ninjembro doesn't even have a good weapon for phase 2. And Ninjembro has like gold sword. We could do 2 spins. He's got silvers. We could do just 1 shot. Like he's got lots of good options.
I mean, if Ninjembro really wanted to, he could try to ice it 4 times.
Ice Rod. I think some people like the Ice Rod for that, honestly.
That is a timing thing, of course, as opposed to doing it with a Fire Rod, but it's just like trying to do it with the Lambos.
In the meantime, Lynn also doing left side, so we'll only gain the time of boots for that part.
And we have ourselves a big key over here in the water.
Which big key? Oh, we need. Yeah, speaking of big key, we need a GT big key.
Yes, we do. And we don't know if we need desert, but now we have a reason to go back in this direction for Ninjembro. Yep. But the problem is that this is a very painful walk.
Yeah, these things that Ninjembro has skipped are starting to bite him. He absolutely needs to find one more sword, and unless there's a sword somewhere else.
But Tracy, we already know where all the swords are.
Oh, we do, don't we? There's the one in GT.
Turtle Rock, the Bombos tablet, and behind the Ice Armos in GT.
And I mean, 2 of those are available to him when he gets to those areas. But he might not get all of them. We'll see. Ninjembro does not know about the sword on the Bombos tablet.
Yeah, he did not have the book when he was going through that area.
And I don't think he's going to get those silvers on Purple Chest. Alright, we're going to see Desert now. I mean, the good news for Ninjembro is he is still progressing. Like, he's still making really good progress through the seed. Just missing, just nice items, rather than not being able to finish things.
I'm wondering if Ninjembro is just trying to wait out now the Bombos, which he's not going to get to.
I wouldn't surprise me if Lynn hits Ice Palace next. At some point, Ninjembro is going to at least go back to the Mire area. Questionable whether he ever gets to the Turtle Rock entrance. He needs one more shot with that Ice Rod. Gold, of course, making no difference from Tempered, so...
And that's the other pendant, so we do need to get the Fire Rod.
We need the Fire Rod. We don't need the Desert Big. That's unfortunate for Ninjembro.
However, Ninjembro can pull the pedestal. And get that wonderful
the Ice Palace
key, the iceberg. But we're going to go back to 6 and check what we missed out because of that connector. And he's going to be livid when he finds Paradox. And then even more livid when he finds that the boots are here.
Yep.
And I think at this stage, Lynn is going to be doing Eastern. Because you know that's part of your 5-6 combo. So therefore you know you need to do this.
I would do Ice first.
No, he's doing Eastern because this is the path to Eastern.
Yeah, but he could mirror. And Ice Palace is on this path too. He could mirror in front of it.
Yeah, but he's doing Eastern first.
Oh, Eastern's over here. Okay. Okay, you do Eastern, then you do Ice.
Yep. Eastern over here at the chess game, and Ice Palace over the quarreling right.
And that's your 5-6. So we'll get 2 items out of here. Ninjembro about to get those boots. And if he goes out the correct entrance, he'll probably hit GT as well.
Yeah, it was the middle entrance that gives him it. And he's going to find the boots, and I see an eye roll and a shaking of the head. He is not happy with that boot location. And more or less, it's the fact that he got thrown out of a connector he couldn't go back through.
Yep.
And he's going to take the other connector, which takes you to Desert Right. So that completes all of our forced connectors.
Okay, so he's got all the connector knowledge. At this point, I don't think we... Well, you know what? We haven't seen the dark connector. So there is still one other cave out there, but we don't care about that.
Oh yeah, the Death Mountain Descension.
Yep.
Which can, of course, take you anywhere at this stage. We don't have any forced connectors.
Wait, he didn't take the other exit.
Now he wants to finish this route. He wants to finish this route.
Yeah, I like to do it more of the way Lynn did it, which is to say, check all your caves first and then decide which connector. Okay, well.
Okay.
I mean, the actual floating island item is... It doesn't matter.
Thieves small.
Oof.
All right. I mean, it's a green pendant thieves town, but it brings back our question from earlier. And there is our
Speaking
Death
of the
Mountain
dark
Descension
connector,
cave.
Ninjembro wants to do these boots checks before following the other connector in Paradox. Now, like the actual item, actual floating island item, doesn't matter. We have boots. We have mitts and hammer, so we can still end mirror. We can get to the GT location the normal way.
Spot for this. Nothing there though.
Okay, and Lynn in Thieves Town, following that small key. This could be a big moment when we see what's in that big chest, because he's gonna be able to full clear this.
If this is the Fire Rod, the Cane of Samaria, or the GT Big, I think this is a situation that becomes so hard for Ninjembro to get back from.
Yep. Oh, hey, this is really good.
Right.
TR Right is a really good find for a Ninjembro. He's gonna do...
And he forgot. Oh, yeah, I probably want to check this chest.
Okay, GT small. That's GT small 4, I think. That means, yeah, because Lynn walked in with 3.
Yeah,
he's going to get the sword
in
here,
GT.
so that's good. So Ninjembro will at least end up untempered. Mire may not ever get the one on Bombless Tablet, but I can't imagine he misses the one in GT.
Yeah, so Hashwala was something that does not move this seed along. I think it was maybe a heart container or a piece of heart. Either way, it's something we don't need.
Right.
All right, in about 40 seconds, we're going to, maybe more like 30 seconds, we're going to see the check that is probably the most important check of this match. Because I do not see Ninjembro coming back here until he is forced here.
Yep, I agree.
And he doesn't even have the Eastern Big at this point to get him back here.
If this is nothing, this is really good for Ninjembro, because Lin didn't have to waste his time here. We know the rest of it's nothing.
It is the compass
It's
to
compass.
Thieves Town. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the Thieves Town compass is one of the most useless compasses of all.
By the way, Ninjembro never made it here to the upgrade ferry, so he's going to find this by way of a clever route.
Yeah, this worked out well.
We already know that there's nothing on this, but this is just getting him item caves.
Alright, saving quick for Ninjembro.
Yeah, this makes sense. There's really no reason to run all the way back out here. By the way, I'm surprised. Neither runner has checked the shovel.
No. Oh, you know what? And Ninjembro is about to check the desert big chest, and may also get back to Mimic Cave at the same time. We weren't quite able to combine it with the small key checks. We can combine it with the big key checks. There's that 20 rupees for Ninjembro on Saha.
And it's a small key to the Palace of Darkness, which will at least give Ninjembro,
there's
if
another
he
check you
wants
got.
to get back.
Go check Mimic Cave. Like, there's no better time to do it. Again, there won't be another good time to do it.
And Ninjembro's going to find GT, but not
Yes.
the way he was expecting to, or the way we were expecting him to.
Yep.
Speaking of Pod, I think that's where Linlinlin's heading to right now.
I mean, Ninjembro's not going to need to go back to that, to that connector that we had, to the floating island, in Paradox Cave, because he's going to see that there really isn't anything there. Unfortunately, this is not the tablet you want.
I mean, he's going to get couch cash.
Yay. I wouldn't mind finding 20 bucks in my couch every once in a while. Lynn gonna go ahead and finish up Pod now.
The big question I have for you then, Tracy, is how is that $20 getting there?
I know, right?
Here's not GT, the fortune teller. He's got to go to the Dark World. Super
Yeah.
Bunny's exit there to get there.
That money gets there by magic. That's how it gets there.
Oh, like the Tooth Fairy?
Yep, sure. And Lynn wants to and chat suggesting do ice before Pod to get potential Pod keys. Do the other checks here. This could be a matter of Lynn wants to try his best to get Canis Samaria before doing Ice Palace.
Yeah,
we might get to see a good old-fashioned Ice Palace bomb jump here, because
at this rate, this feels like the seed is just setting us up for the Kane to be
Kanon
in
Coldster?
Ice Palace.
would Kanon Coldster make this a logical pet seed with that Ice Palace small key? I'm actually not sure.
Yes, it would.
And Jembro might get that Ice Palace small key because he can just pull pet anytime he wants and doesn't know what's there.
Yeah, and you can figure here at the hour 46 mark that the patience is starting to wear a little thin for these runners because we are still multiple items from go mode. We're go -3. Ninjembro's go -4.
He's gonna get the Eastern Big Key shortly, but yeah.
Yeah.
And some not great orphaned locations.
So now Ninjembro's go -3. I will also say, Tracy, we have yet to see 2 of our fetch quests.
Yeah, the shovel. Oh, we haven't seen mushroom or powder, have we? And Jumper with no boomerang, no Cane of Samaria has to use bombs on the crystal switches there.
Yeah, you remember when he saw a boomerang and he passed it up?
Yep. He could still end up with one. He hasn't done Dark Cross. That's the other boomerang. At this point, that's probably not... I won't call that his last location, because we all know that Thieves Town Big Chest is likely the last location, but that could be... That's way down there on the list for sure if you're Ninjembro. Alright, let's see. Oh, we're gonna get a silver kill here on Landmo for Lin. Got better choices.
Yeah, unfortunately didn't get the 1 cycle, but 2 cycles. There you go. And there is the pendant for Linlinlin. And at this point, I think Lin is forced to go into Ice Palace.
I think so. We're running out of other things to do.
Looting 4, though. Oh, we're checking the shovel.
Let's do the shovel. Well, we also still have... Lin still hasn't done the Desert Big Chest. He could also hit Mimic Cave the way I was thinking that Ninjembro would.
There's the Tempered Sword for Ninjembro. There's the Bombos. And Ninjembro's out of here. Of course, can't finish this dungeon. Alright, what do we think is on the shovel?
We might see Ninjembro just follow Lin into this shovel check into ice. He might do Eastern first, though. Looks like that's... Yeah, looks like Eastern first.
That's the play. It's red, but it's not the red we are looking for on many levels. And now we go into Ice Palace.
All right. As I always say, you still need to know how to do your Ice Palace bomb jump, because no one wants to do this the original developer intended way. We do not have a Cane of Samaria for Icebreaker, so we have to do this the old-fashioned way.
You know, you give that setup, Tracy. Watch the seed now give us the Cane of Samaria in the Pandigator room just to say you're wrong.
Just to say you should have come here much sooner.
Pretty much. It's red, but it's not the red we are looking for.
Now, we do have the big key, so this is logical.
And we have the ability to pull the pedestal.
Yep.
Even though we didn't do so. So all of this is logical.
Essentially, we have both small keys.
Okay, so now it's just going to put the Cane of Samaria in the big key chest, just to taunt us.
I mean, that's kind of what I expect at this point. When I'm going into Ice Palace without the cane, I'm hoping that it's just going to show up, and that my opponent will not gain the advantage of having the ability to do it with the cane.
I mean, a taunt still feels good sometimes. Like, I don't know. It's like it's one of those jokes. I guess a joke is a better way of saying it.
Mm-hmm. It also means it takes us longer to actually get to see anything in this dungeon, because the Pengator room is quick, and then you have to go through and do all these others.
You can do things in this game? All
And
right,
we're
game.
go minus. If we were go -1, I would say check that first chest that Lynn skipped immediately. But we're go -3, as you say. So we're gonna be checking these regardless. So you just check them.
Go -3 still.
Wrong big key. Wrong big key.
It's right. It's the right big key for all the laughs. That's red, but it's not the red we are looking for.
All right, is ninjembro gonna join Lynn in Ice Palace?
Yes,
I think
indeed.
so.
This is still a race, even though ninjembro is still missing the silvers and the gold sword.
I mean, the only way the silvers and the gold sword make a difference is if they get to Ganon at similar times.
Which
And the
still could be a possibility.
Yeah, which is still possible. The gold sword in particular, it makes a bigger difference for most runners on Cold Stare, which we'll see here, and on Trinex than it does on Ganon, unless you're bad at the game like I am and, really like to have that gold sword.
Silvers does make a little bit faster on the Vitreous fight. Though.
Yes, agreed. Although Cape and Tempered you can do some pretty nice work with.
It's
Or even
red,
ju-
but it's
or
not
even
the
just
red we are
NMG
looking
strats.
for.
Yeah, it looks like this Ice Palace is going to be pretty much a bust.
Why?
We haven't found anything yet.
I mean, I know that's the reason why it's a bust, but why? And I'm talking more
The
of
game
the
hates
logic at
us.
this point. I mean, pretty much.
I remember that Mimic Cave that ninjembro didn't do when he went and did Desert Big Chest.
Alrighty. Bombos here on these two. And now I also have to wonder, how many of the prime entrances are we still missing? Item entrances, that is. And I can't think of a whole lot.
I think we've seen all the big ones.
But yeah, we've seen all the big ones. All the fives are
Everything
gone.
else, yeah, the 5s are gone. There's I guarantee you there's some 1s left, but... And those like to show up in dumb spots for your go mode, too. It definitely is a thing. So the only thing we got out of this dungeon was the Swamp Palace Big Key, and since both runners have done left side already, they're not going back to Swamp anytime soon. For just the one check.
Oh, chat noting that ninjembro did not hit the switch and did not bomb jump.
Oh, that's unusual.
Fire rod right there.
Ooh, that's really bad. If ninjembro forgot to bomb jump. Like, I know he's completely capable of doing it. I don't understand why. The only time I don't bomb jump in that situation is if I don't have both hammer and glove. Right? Sometimes if you don't have all the things. Of course, the game likes to tease you there too. You're missing one of the items. Hey, well, I'll give it to you, but you've already not hit the switch.
Here goes Lynn to check the big chest.
Yeah, we'll see if he remembers to go to Mimic Cave.
And again, the chat can't see it here, but
And
we
there
can.
it is.
Ninjembro is not happy. I think he was expecting to find this Cane of Samaria here.
Yeah, if the Cane of Samaria shows up, then you can just do it with the Cane of Samaria, but that's
it's
not going to work out.
It's not going to work out.
At this point, I would just mirror. I'll get this item first, but now just mirror and mirror and just do it again from the beginning. I don't think you have another choice. And Lynn is going to check this Mimic Cave. And I have a feeling that there's... I mean, the Fire Rod opens things, because we can now do right side GT.
This is not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have both keys. They're I think you need both keys to do this the intended way.
Yeah, he's panicking at this point.
I'm telling you, just reset, start over, and do it. Oh, he's leaving. He's not going to get that fire rod right now. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, he's in total panic mode at this point.
What's interesting with this whole situation for ninjembro, like you see it when runners do icebreaker, where they forget to hit the switch when they don't have the big key, because you need to have the big key if you're gonna hit this not hit the switch. I don't know that I've seen someone forget it on an Ice Palace bomb jump.
Yeah, he's in full out tilt mode at this point, and I think he's gonna have to make the run all the way back here to do this all over again.
Yep.
But this is really bad time to be losing.
Yep. No, he's gonna do other things. He's gonna do smiths.
He's
probably
going
do the
to
purple chest. He'll maybe get that gold sword, which now is not so useful.
And
Lynn's
chat putting
doing
up
stuff that we know isn't anything.
And chat pointing out there that the pedestal was completely dead because of that fire rod on Cold Stare. Because you need that to beat Mothula.
Yes, that's right.
So the Cane of Samaria is out there somewhere.
Yeah, and forget my right side GT statements, because of course we need the cane for that. We have the fire rod, we can do that. No, we still need the cane for that.
So there's the gold sword for ninjembro.
We're gonna get the big bomb from
Big bomb,
Lynn.
yeah. I think Chad is coming to a conclusion, perhaps, that there is something in that swamp big.
Yeah, I mean, we're running out of other things to do. I'm trying to think, because of that fire rod blocking, like the Cold Stare blocks the fire rod, which
and
blocks
you need the fire rod to beat Mothula.
Yeah, which blocked, because... So, because that second Ice Palace small key is not logically available, he's gonna pull the
blind pull the pedestal.
This answers the question for ninjembro, like with this small key. Well, it doesn't quite answer the question, right? Because he doesn't know that. Like he gets the Ice Palace small key, says, "Well, okay, I can now do Ice Palace," but surely the fire rod's not on Cold Stare because The good news for him is he can go back and do Ice Palace. He doesn't even lose that much time not going back with Cane of Samaria, because Samaria only saves like 15, 20 seconds in a go mode Ice Palace, and this is essentially what ninjembro will have. Meanwhile, Lynn's doing a bunch of entrance checks that ninjembro did forever ago.
Yeah, this is the where is my logic supposed to be kind of check. And this could very well just have been, hey, guess what? You were supposed to double dip Ice Palace.
I mean, the game likes to give us logical double dips that we don't actually have to do.
Yeah, but, this game has already told these runners to sod off.
Yeah. We're at 5 pod small keys.
Yes, we are.
Which doesn't logically open anything up, but there is the school of thought that says, well, if I go do pod, and it could just as easily be that some of these other things in logic would just give us that 6 pod small key to put it in logic anyway. New entrance from Lynn.
Silvers for ninjembro and a shaking of the head.
Yep, logical bow.
And the checkerboard cave, which was one of our item caves we haven't seen, just has a bottle.
Yeah, so for those of you that missed it, there is a bow locked behind 3 Mire small keys in the cutscene chest. And I think we're up to 2 Mire small keys.
Yep. So that bow that was in the purple chest was supposed to be in the purple. All right. Swamp Big Chest. Here we go. At the 2-hour mark here, be sure to get your love and praise or appreciation for the crew of this match. Ike here, Tech doing a lot of great things here with the button pressing. Also, Tech also doing the restreaming of this match as well. Here we go, Tracy. What's in this big chest?
I'm gonna say GT big.
It's going to be Kane of Samaria. It was.
So remember back when I said I don't like to do left side swamp without the big key because that gives me 3 items to come back to instead of just 1.
Kane of Samaria. Oh gosh, you are evil. You are vile. Well played.
Okay, so now we do
and now
TR.
We're
we
-1.
do Mire. Yeah, I would do TR and then Mire and then GT right side, looking for that GT big key.
But Linlinlin's going to do this in an opposite order. We're going to do Mire first.
Mire, TR, which I mean, that's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Like, Mire first makes a lot of sense just because you have to do it anyway. It's just the 1 item. And then if it's the answer, you're done. And then you do Turtle Rock. And if it's not the answer, it's going to spit you out in the front for all the items you haven't picked up. And then you go GT right side if you're still looking.
Ninjembro's now going to check Mimic Cave.
Yep.
And yep, friends, Ganon is vanilla. That's why we cannot declare go mode at this point.
Yeah, nice hard required GT big key. Gotta love it.
Which could be in GT still.
It sure could.
There are still 5 checks in GT that we have not seen that just became in Logic thanks to that Kane of Samaria. And in case anyone didn't see it earlier, Turtle Rock Front is located over a mini Moldorm cave. So the way that I see Linlinlin doing this is after you do Mire, you're going to either run over or you mirror and flute to Vu. Yep. And you're going to do the laser bridge to Trinex. Then you'll go kick out at the front. If you haven't found the GT big at that, or the GT big, you do the front 3 checks. And here is Spike Chest for Ninjembro. He's already checked, or we've already seen this from Lin.
We'll see if Ninjembro goes back into Swamp anytime soon, or if he gets back to Ice. Very quick victorious fight with silver arrows for Lin.
Swamp Big Key was in Ice Palace. There's a piece of heart. And by the way, if we see a big key, it is not guaranteed to be GT yet.
Yeah, Skullwoods is still hanging out there.
Yes, because why not, game? Oh, Ninjembro's going back to Turtle or Thieves Town.
Thieves Town, yeah. I kind of thought we might see this.
And this is going to be punishing.
Whereas at this point, we're just running out of places for Lin to even pick things up. He's going to run into this GT big key. Yeah. He's not quite in go mode yet, but there's just not that many places left to do.
He's going to be the first one in go mode, no matter what. Every second that Jembro does that isn't the Swamp Big.
And Cold Stare.
And then go to Cold Stare. Is this time that Lin's gaining.
It's interesting the way that Ninjembro's been approaching this, because like when Lin went to Mire, he didn't go to Mire until he knew it was in Logic. And he'd gotten the logical bow to say, hey, that the flute that we found on the right side of Pod was available, was in Logic. Ninjembro went straight to Mire area, despite knowing that the bow was not in Logic that he had, because he only, not the despite knowing that the flute he had was not in logic because he got it behind a not logical bow. And now it feels like Ninjembro is just not wanting to go back to ice because he knows that logically he needs the Cane of Samaria. I mean, granted, we need the Cane of Samaria regardless, but... Alright, that's a Trinex down for Lin.
And we get ourselves the compass to Mire. Yay!
Hey, when we walk into Mire is, I mean, normally that's a good compass, but we already got 7 items out of there, so we're just gonna walk in there and find. Or no, we would just walk back in there and see we've got all 8 items. It'll never be useful now.
All right, now we get through here, and we're gonna be definitely checking these 3.
Which do you like to check first in this scenario?
Ninjembro's going to be heading to the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, there. I mean, you know, like if the GT Big Key were to show up here.
Yeah, this is really the
one of
only
few places.
out.
Yeah,
Magic powder.
Why game? I love magic powder, but why this late?
Magic bat is located at the well, in case you're wondering.
I mean, you got to do it before you go up to GT, don't you?
Mirror shield,
Oof.
not what you wanted
Okay.
to see.
We have one more item in pod.
And we get ourselves some bombs, and we get our mushroom!
Oh, jeez.
Oh, fetch quest
Okay,
inside
well,
a turtle rock!
I guess we do those and then go to GT, because, like, having to come back for those afterwards would be awful.
Alright, first we're going to check the magic bat over here at the well. In case you're wondering, Potion
and it's
Shop.
not pod.
Potion Shop was located at the Lumberjack's house. And Ninjembro has just thrown in the towel.
That's too bad. And I think that, yeah,
Big
no.
key to skull! Do you want another fetch quest, Tracy?
No. But we have one. I mean, I would just go immediately check that. You're basically right there. Of course, you can turn the mushroom first. It's fine. And yes, to answer chat, Lin does need to finish the game. But I know if I know that my opponent is done and I just need to finish, it might be a slight bit more thorough in my checks, just to make sure I don't add an extra 10 minutes to my run because I missed something. Whereas, you know, if I know my opponent's still going, I might need that minute to win the game, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so yeah, what do we even have that's not right side GT after this? I guess we have to actually look at the mushroom turn-in. It's not here.
Yeah, we leave here, then we will wind up mirroring and getting over to the potion shop.
But what do we have anything that's not right side GT after this?
I don't think so, Tracy.
Cat, if you could think of anything. I mean, it's not even so much whether we're out of item caves or not, it's whether or not there's even someplace we can go to.
And it's not here. By the way, did we see, and I'm going to bring this up as a legitimate question here. Have we seen Chicken Coop?
Chicken Hut? Maybe not, but that could just be GT entrance.
Right, but I'm just trying to think of if we have... Okay, we did see Chicken Coop. Because I'm trying to think if there's any items remaining, period, in this game. I think the last one we saw was checkerboard. And I know they do make trackers for keeping note of how many item caves there still are.
Yeah, and chat making a good point in that Lin, if he is one of those players that does track what item caves he's seen, he did not check the back of Skullwood's cave. And to answer chat, yeah, we've done Spike Cave.
All right. First, we're going to check the 4 items here.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of probably... I mean, if it's not faster to get to these 4 items, it's certainly close. It is to do tile room, and then you get 4 items instead of 1. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Look, it's the big key to this dungeon. And we're going to see a climb. It's all that's left to do.
Also, welcome in Ninjembro.
Hey, hello.
What a chain of events for this seed.
I mean, I played it like a complete idiot, and that's basically why I gave up and like forfeit. Like, not only was like my execution bad, but like I just made a lot of simple mistakes. Like, it got to the point where just like you hear this from some runners sometimes, and like a lot of times when it happens to me, like I just power through anyway. But like I just was not having fun playing the seed anymore.
Obviously, on the restream, they don't get to see your face, but we could see it on the layout here. And we could tell that you were getting more and more annoyed with this seed as things just kept drying up. So do you want to know what the solution to this puzzle was?
So I already found out, because after I forfeit, so last summer, I came into the office and was just like...
She did.
Oh,
yep.
This is where the fire rod was, and then this is where the cane was. And I was like, hold on, I forget. Is ZSR PG-13, or is it no? I'll just say
words were spoken.
Of course it was.
Of course it blanking was. I'll say it the way that you said it, with the proper censor in here.
Yeah. Although I've been seeing in chat it's aren't, but still. Okay, so of freaking course it was.
Yeah.
And you were just a little bit behind Lin into Ice Palace, with Big Key still outstanding. And of
chat
course, and the Cade still outstanding. When things happen.
Chat was assessing like maybe you were about 2 to 3 minutes behind Linlinlin at that point, and then that pretty much just cemented things. We were concerned that you weren't going to get the swords for a while.
Yeah.
Like going swordless for a while didn't really upset me too much. Like, of course, like I forget where I found Spec Rock Cave, but I remember it was like kind of free, and I was a little annoyed that I found it as late as I did.
Yeah, being at the Dark Potion.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever.
Which Linlinlin broke the logic and fake flippered over there.
Yeah, so in Crosskeys, like, I don't mind breaking logic, but there are some things I try to kind of stay in logic, and then also, like, at that point in the seed, there's just, like, so much available. Like, I didn't really feel a need to go over there, and then I found those flippers, and I was like, okay, I guess I need to go over there. So, like, there's probably some questions about, like, some of the things that I did. So, like, when I just, like, ignored the entire pod area, like, that was the first thing that I did. Like...
No, there wasn't any real questions about that.
No, I think that's reasonable, because you either do pod and then you do the north stuff, or you do the north stuff and you do pod. Like,
well, my reasoning for it, at least, was absolutely terrible in hindsight.
Okay.
And it was basically like, other than potential like item caves, which I don't use like a tracker or whatever. Like, I know some people have like checklister or whatever it's called, where it's like you know what caves you found. I don't use that. And like I knew I hadn't found some things, but I was like, oh man, I have found like every non-item entrance that I like need.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I was probably like up near Zora when I was like, oh god, no, I still maybe need Back of Skull Woods. I still need GT. I still need the dam. And I'm like, oh crap. So like I had to go all the way back over there. And then like the Ice Palace thing, for some reason I thought I was able... I don't know what went wrong with like figuring it out in my head. Maybe I thought I had 2 small keys or something, but I thought I was going to be able to just... oh no! For some reason in my head I had the cane.
Oh, okay.
That explains a lot.
So I was
there.
like, it makes no sense for me to do Ice Palace bomb jump here because like the time that it spends to do that and like the other way of getting to Ice Tea, like it's like a wash. Mm-hmm. At best, and like a time loss probably to do Ice Palace bomb jump in that scenario. So I'm just going to not do Ice Palace bomb jump and just like do this.
And
like...
then you get down to the lowest floor, and then you're like,
well, I get down there and I'm like, oh crap, and then I'm just like,
you're panicking, which we could tell based on your sprite movement.
Yeah, I was just like, do you need both keys? I'm not sure, so I'm going to keep going. And then, like, as I started, like, thinking about it, it's like, oh, yeah, you definitely need both keys. And I'm
Without Kane, you need both keys.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, okay, not a big deal. Like, I'll just come back here. And then, of course, Cold Stare had Fire Rod.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay.
Which told us that the pedestal was not needed.
Right, which was the Ice Palace small key, of course.
As Lynn's now on Ganon right now. So like, your pod... We were worried that you weren't going to get back to pod for a little bit because of the fact that we had seen Lynn go in with the bow and therefore was able to score the flute and then the hammer being in the compass chest.
Yeah, actually, when I got the hammer, I felt pretty good. I was just like, there's a very real chance, especially... I figured just gonna
pause you for a second here as we get your GGs in chat as Linlinlin has defeated Ganon, is about to go through the door to improve to 6-1 to at least clinch a spot in the play-in at the minimum.
Yeah, GG's to Lynn. Very nicely done.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
GG's.
what were you saying?
So I actually felt pretty decent because I was like, depending on when you get to pod, like, because I still had so much I could do in there, I had a reason to go back, and it was such a terrible location. I was just like, well, there's a good chance that Lynn, like, mimic clipped, got the flute, and has no reason to ever come back here until they find the hammer.
Sure. Yeah, what
you
didn't know...
felt pretty good when I found that hammer.
Yeah. So Lynn got to the mountain really early, did the old man cave without anything. Just using the sound of the quick swap to get around. And then, so couldn't get over to find pod in the first place, the way you did.
And we do welcome in Lynn into the conversations. GG's and congratulations on qualifying at a minimum for the play-in race.
Hello, GG's.
Hey, GG's.
The other thing that really happened that gave Lynn a bit of an advantage was you unfortunately took the Quarreling Brothers connector that dumped you out on the bonk rocks. And Lynn wound up getting the boots, and we could tell that you were pissed when you found the boots in Paradox afterwards.
Yeah, when I got back over there and found Paradox, I was just like, figures. And it's also one of those things where I said, like, you know, not using checklist or whatever, like, it hadn't really even occurred to me that I hadn't found Paradox.
Mm-hmm. You know, when I found it, I was like, hey, I didn't find Paradox Cave.
Yeah, right. And it's just like, I started opening chests, and I'm like, okay, nothing. Oh, boots, neat. Like, just more salt in the wound, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think your reaction almost felt like of blanking course.
Yep. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the first seeds that first race seeds that I like rage quit before my opponent finished in a really, really long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, probably close to a year since I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
But
the one thing I
it
do
is
want
what
to
it is.
ask, and I'll ask both of you, what were your thoughts when you picked up that bow and Mire behind 3 smalls?
I mean, it wasn't blocking anything. So at that point, I mean, when I found it, because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where Pod was, and I didn't have
Right.
recent Big Key or GT, so like, I mean, that's great. I can't do much with it, but that's great. But after I found the flute, I'm like, well, okay. And then after I got that second sword, I kind of wanted the third one, which is why I did I put up the purple just for that purpose, like
Yeah.
especially so I can grab the sword. And then the other board just showed up. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. Guess that flute is in logic, so we'll go there.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Ninjembro.
um. So I guess the like very short and easy answer to that is like neat. It was locked behind 3 Mire smalls. Cool. I like that's not a thing that like registers in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
I always say that people don't skip that location because it's out of logic. They skip it because it's slow. So, because
Yeah, and like
you can full clear Mire without any small keys.
especially in a mode like this, and like especially when I got access to Mire, like skipping that chest just feels incredibly bad
Mm-hmm.
because like I forget exactly what the texture of like items and everything was at that point, but like this seed was like very very light on like things for the first very
Yes.
long time of that
Yes,
seed.
it really was.
Like I'm pretty like I'm probably exaggerating a little bit here and I might have the numbers slightly off, but I definitely am pretty sure by like it felt like by the 40-minute mark, I think like I had found like 3 keys.
Yeah, keys were very hard to come by early. Won't know what the numbers were, but you're absolutely right. But I gotta ask you, Lynn, like you talked about that bow, and getting the second bow. It felt to me like you wanted to, because the flute opens up the Mire area, which had things you could do. It really did feel like you were waiting for that flute to be in logic because you went and did
No, not
a bunch of
really.
checks.
'Cause I was just sorry. I was just continuing my route
Okay.
overall, and then I found the sword. Uh, I had put off Ice Mouse entrance and the ferry,
Hmm.
the upgrade ferry for a while, and waterfall because I went to Catfish super early without any ways
Yep.
to check the waterfall. So I was like, yeah, let me check that first.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll find some Maya keys or
Hmm.
something. Like there
Yeah.
might be something that has Maya keys there, and I just
Or
found the
even like a
sword.
fourth pod key to put the
Yeah.
hammer in logic.
Oh yeah,
It
that
was
happened.
very,
Like,
yeah.
well, there's a small key in render room. I guess that's not the one I needed for the hammer.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And then for you, I mean, you basically, except for Tyler Room, last location, the GT Big Key, because like as GT was in such a bad place, I don't blame you for wanting to clean up
That's the
all
thing.
those little things before going
That's the
back
thing.
there.
I wasn't going back to pod, but I mean, I didn't. When I got the powder and the mushroom, it was 4
Yeah.
checks outside of GT and 5 inside GT. So I'm like, yeah, almost 50-50. I'm just gonna do that powder real quick.
Yep, that's right. You
And
still
then
have pod to do.
it and then it gives me this skull was big. I'm like, oh
Of course
no.
yeah. Yeah, and it was funny because, I guess for us it was a more closer to a last location because Ninjembro eventually went back into those last 2 locations in Pod, but yeah, that
Right?
GT being where it was, it just made sense. You go there if you check it and it's not there, and you have to go back. Yeah, it's just pretty
Yeah,
ugly in that whole
I
sequence.
yeah, I did love the double fetch quest front of TR.
Yes.
I thought I got that pod key that like I was able to go to Helmazor, but I knew Desert was on the way to pod, and I'm like. I'm gonna put that off, trying to get more pod keys or the desert big key. And the moment I
Yep.
got it, this big key, I just pulled the trigger on it and just going. Like
Hmm.
I didn't know, I think didn't have the map, the tier
Yeah,
map or the desert map, so I was like,
we never
well,
had enough maps to give us information. You both pulled pendants from doing them, so
It was terrible.
like Thieves Town was the only one we knew was a pendant when you all went in because it was Saha, and then it was nothing anyway.
Yeah, it
Of course,
felt really
that was-
good to go do that, and it's just like,
Here's nothing. Here's more nothing. Here's
Yeah.
even more nothing.
kind of funny that I'm not talking about real fire, but the fire being on cold there meant that the fire rod was behind the King of Samaria. But
Yes.
that didn't help much.
Yeah, the fire out on Cold Star meant the Ice Palace small key on Ped was not in logic. What game?
I love the fact that we're just having a breakdown right now in the post-race conversation, which just shows the power of Crosskeys, everyone.
I mean, Crosskeys always has it's funny, so you know.
And to think we have one more week of this before the brackets.
Unfortunate.
So, Ninjembro, next week, you'll be fighting for your life with all the 5 and 2s,
Yeah.
trying to get to that 6 and 2 play-in race.
Yeah, it's
There's
okay.
a lot of dangerous opponents in that 5 and 2, so good luck to you on the draw coming up here tomorrow night when they do set up the week 8 schedules. And Lynn, you're just wanting to get out of this play-in race.
Yeah, I'll try. I've done the last 2, so I don't really want to do it enough. I don't really want to do another one.
I'll just crush Gamachu next week and get to the play-in.
Yeah, that works. I mean, that'd be fun, right?
Is Gamma 5 too?
Shots fired. I know Megawatt's 5 and 2. I know Zelga's 5 and 2. I know
my God.
there's a lot
Oh, no.
of great runners that are currently 5 and 2.
I mean, it just shows how tough the field is at the top of the Crosskeys tournament.
I mean, I just got Nobly at 2 and 4. I'm like, how the heck am I drawing Nobly at 2 and 4? It just shows how all around tough this tournament is.
Mm-hmm.
From top to bottom. People have learned this mode and they're doing well in this mode. Humbug, Telethar, Obscure at 5 and 2.
Wow,
Oh,
and
gosh.
you know, I in a sense, like you look at the ladder and the fact that the ladder always has Crosskeys in it. I really think that starting with that, people just started playing this mode. I know I started playing it in large part because of the ladder. People just started playing this mode a lot more, starting with the 2020 when ladder came out.
I think it's half and half. I think it's half the ladder and half the success that this tournament has had since 2019.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah, just that combination.
But any closing thoughts for the two of you before you remove the seed from your memory banks?
I
mean,
really,
go ahead, Lynn.
I just hope you crush Gamma, like you said. And good luck making it to the plane race, I guess.
Oh, thanks.
At least the play-in race isn't going to be only one person gets in out of like 20 people that are eligible.
We've had that. We don't need that ever again. Anyway, Ninjembro.
Yeah, I mean, only other things, GG's Lynn. Good luck next week that you don't have to do the play-in a third year in a row. I'm hoping to make the play-in and hopefully get in the brackets for the first time in this tournament. Although, to be fair, this is only my second time playing in this tournament. I played in 2021 and then skipped last year because I just wasn't feeling it. But it's a fun tournament. I really like the mode, and good luck to everybody in week 8 because it's a high stakes week for a lot of runners.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot of races get popped up into the restreams because of just how many high stakes races there's going to be. GG's to both of you. Go rest this one off. You've earned it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's bedtime.
For sure.
All right, that's going to do it here for this match. Stick around. There's a lot more races coming up here on the schedule. One more day of this week 7 of Swiss before they throw everyone into the shuffler and give them the week 8 pairings. That'll be fun. Hey, Tracy, this has been fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, always a pleasure, Rick. I'm glad you reached out to me to call this race. I've been looking to do some Crosskeys, so.
I saw the interest of this race. I know the runners here, and I respect the runners a lot. So it's like,
Same.
must do. So big thank you to Tomotech for getting this on the air. Also special thanks to iCure for clicking the buttons and making the icons appear as well. So before Tomotech takes
Tomotech also did a little bit of tracking. So, trackers, as I say, always are MVP. So thanks for doing that double duty.
Yeah, so before Tomotech takes the microphones away from us, I'm Adirondack saying thank you for joining us, and be sure to stick around for more great Crosskeys action, or misery, if you will.
Well, if I'm involved, it's probably misery. All right. Thank you, everyone, coming out. Thank you for Rick, Janice, for doing the talking, and for eGear for helping me track, for the runners for putting a great race, for the people who came out to watch, because without you, we can't actually do this stuff. Right now, we've got 3 Windbreaker Randomizer races going on tomorrow. 2 at 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to try to see if I can get someone to start the J-Joe versus, who was it? The 7 o'clock one tomorrow. It's J-Joe versus Armix. I'm going to see if I can get someone to start that one for me, if I can get some people for it. So we'll have one more this week. This one will be the interesting one because this is the 6-0, 5-1 race. So I think that's a good one to try to get on. And then I'm going to try to get on as many as I can next week with all the matches, like Rick said, being all kinds of cool, matchups and all the rest of it. And it should just be a great week for us. So I'll see how many of those I can get on, and we'll go from there. But again, thank you everyone for coming out. We're going to go visit the Otters because I can't find anybody to raid.